Welcome back, fans. I was feeling particularly contained today as I looked around the concrete walls in my little room. Only a few fluorescent light bulbs lighting the area, and you know, it really made me think about a certain foundation that specializes in the secure containment and protection of a lot of nasty things. Yes, our favorite shadow organization has quite a few nasty little creatures locked away in their own special cells. And like anything that's top secret, there are a number of files with details on their prisoners. Now, tonight, I would like to share with you a few that I was able to get copies of. Item number SCP-1093. Object Class: Safe. SCP-1093 is a Caucasian male, approximately 1.68 meters in height and between 30 to 35 years old. The head of SCP-1093 is composed entirely of a bright light, measured approximately in 1600 lumens. 1093 has no physical cranium, and there are no known sources for the light emitting from the head area. The light at SCP-1093's head does not emit any sort of heat. No causes for this abnormality have been determined. 1093 is highly radioactive, emitting radiation levels between 3,500 to 4,000 radiation. It has not yet been determined what causes 1093 to emit these lethal doses of radiation. 1093 itself does not appear to be affected by this radiation, and it will constantly emit radiation regardless of whether it has been activated. On the back, near the base of the neck, is a light switch labeled on and off, resembling that of a typical household light switch. Light only emits from 1093 when the activated switch is put in the on position. When deactivated, 1093 appears completely headless. When not activated though, the switch at 1093's upper body will remain limp. Upon activation, 1093 will lift its upper body, standing stiff and motionless until deactivation. Biological examination of 1093 has shown it to be externally a living, healthy human from the neck down. 1093 displays a stable heartbeat and steady, constant breathing. How SCP-1093 is capable of respiration is unknown, as there is no visible openings to allow any form of ventilation or exhalation. 1093 does not appear to require food, drink, or sleep. All bodily functions immediately cease upon deactivation. For information regarding the internal anatomy of SCP-1093, refer to Surgical Report. When activated, 1093 is entirely dormant. 1093 does not respond to any staff attempts at interaction and is completely unresponsive to all external stimuli. In this state, 1093 does not appear to be capable of speech and does not display any evidence of sapience. Under these conditions, 1093 will continually stay stationary, locked in a single stiff position until deactivation. Personnel who have been within the immediate proximity of 1093 have reported experiencing auditory hallucinations that promptly desist upon exiting the chamber. Extended contact with 1093 appears to cause these hallucinations to persist for longer periods of time, typically spanning several days, before abruptly ceasing. In a number of cases, the sounds have continued for excessive spans of time, which has caused a significant distress in the affiliated personnel, though the eventual sudden desistance has remained in nearly all cases. Item number SCP-1286. Object Class: Keter. SCP-1286 appears to be a plastic replica of the Fat Man atomic bomb. On the left of the hull is an acrylic drawing of a man frowning. Located near the rear is a small loudspeaker attached to the object with duct tape. SCP-1286 occasionally communicates through this device. SCP-1286 claims to be a functioning explosive. 1286 presents great difficulties to all personnel responsible for the containment in the sense that it will continually debate with staff as to why it should detonate. When approached, SCP-1286 will begin rocking back and forth on its own volition. Containment personnel who have observed this report, it fills them with a great sense of dread, although researchers are not sure whether this is a mimetic effect due to SCP-1286's apparent nature. Further testing is to be done with unbriefed personnel. The only confirmed anomaly regarding SCP-1286 is the tendency of the personnel in charge of the containment to gather around the live feed when the device begins rocking. How this is coordinated is not known, but it is reported to be sudden and compulsive, causing extreme anxiety for those present. 1286 was discovered in the basement gallery of an entertainment and art venue located in Manhattan, New York. 2 agents attended the opening event. Sadman visits Chelsea and friends. Due to concern with specific textual content, the posters and other advertisements displayed before the gallery's opening. After the exhibit opened, guests were ushered into the basement room containing SCP-1286 by a guide wearing orange shorts and a bandana concealing the face. The figure's identity is not currently known, although it is believed to be the creator of SCP-1286. The figure spoke through a small orange microphone. The voice was projected through a loudspeaker in 1286's hole, with various phrases such as, "I'm just a sad little bomb," and "tick tick tick bah." After the space of half an hour, the figure placed the microphone on the ground, after which SCP-1286 continued its phrasing unaided. Item number SCP-1499. Object Class: Safe. SCP-1499 is a Soviet GP-5 gas mask. A seal test performed on the object suggests that it retains its functionality. The anomalous effects of SCP-1499 activate when a human places SCP-1499 on their head. Approximately 1 second after 1499 is fully secured on the subject's head, the subject vanishes from view and is no longer detectable. The subject reports no feeling of motion at this time. Testing has revealed the two-way radios continue to work, of both receiving and transmitting, despite the fact the subject is no longer detectable. Upon wearing SCP-1499, test subjects report completely different surroundings than where they were prior. Subjects have reported that it appears barren and inhospitable, with tall black towers filling the area. Subjects have also cited entities in this landscape. These entities, designated SCP-1499-1, have been described as tall, nude humanoids with dark skin that have a thick coat of an unknown viscous substance. Instances of SCP-1499-1 also have large amounts of eyes and mouths covering their bodies. Upon removing SCP-1499 from their head, subjects reappear in the same location that they were when they put it on. Now then, fans, I'm sure you have all heard of this guy. He's our last one on the roster for tonight, though you may have heard of him, you've probably never seen him. And that's not because you should. He's quite shy after all. SCP-096, the Shy Guy. Object Class: Euclid. SCP-096 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. Subject shows very little muscle mass, with preliminary analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. The skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation, with no sign of any body hair. 096's jaw can open to an amount of 4 times the norm of an average human. Other facial features remain similar to an average human though, with the exception of the eyes, which are also devoid of any pigmentation. It is not yet known whether SCP-096 is blind or not. It shows no sign of any higher brain functions, and is not considered to be sapient. SCP-096 is normally extremely docile, with pressure sensors inside the cell indicating it spends most of its day pacing by the eastern wall. However, when someone views SCP-096's face, whether it be directly, via video recording, or even a photograph, it will enter a stage of considerable emotional distress. SCP-096 will cover its face with its hands and begin screaming, crying, and babbling incoherently. Approximately 1 to 2 minutes after the first viewing, 096 will begin running to the person who viewed its face, who will from this point on be referred to as SCP-096-1. Documented speeds vary between 35 kilometers an hour to kilometers an hour, and seems to depend on the distance between SCP-096-1 at this point. No known material or method can impede 096's progress. The actual position of 096-1 does not seem to affect 096's response. It seems to have an innate sense of where 096-1's location is. Note: this reaction does not occur when viewing artistic depictions. Upon arriving at 096-1's location, SCP-096 will proceed to kill and SCP-096-1. 100% of cases have left no traces of SCP-096-1. SCP-096 will then sit down for several minutes before regaining its composure and becoming docile once again. It will then attempt to make its way back to its natural habitat. Due to the possibility of mass chain reaction, including breach of Foundation security, a large civilian loss of life, retrieval of the subject should be considered an alpha priority. You know, I really can't say I blame the guy. I hate when people try to see my face too. Good night, everybody.